Hello everyone. Hello. Thank you so much for joining me today. I cannot believe it. Can you? It is the last of the A to Z with Janome. Not the last Janome HQ Instagram Live, however, so I will tell you a little bit that later. But yes, thank you so much for joining me today for the recap of the A to Z with Janome. I cannot believe it. Again, collectively, this was 9 weeks. It was way back in May, I think about May 13th or something, when we started. And so now, yes, we've gone through the alphabet to find out a little bit more of many of our Janome presser feet, some of the attachments and accessories, some of the Janome products to certainly help you get the most out of your Janome machine, and certainly, as I always say, to share in the Janome love. So thank you very much for joining me. My name is Michael Smith, the National Consumer Education Manager of Janome Canada. And again, welcome to my living room as we do our recap of A to Z with Janome. Oh, thank you. And my adorable partner, Joe, is here with me, putting on more light of the subject, because Joe had said to me, I started the series with you, so I should end the series with you. He has been my cameraman for most of the series, so it's wonderful to have him here too, filming me as we go through A to Z. And this is my beautiful sampler, or at least I hope you find it beautiful. I do. Using Tamara Kate's fabric. I love her fabric. She is a designer from Montreal, has worked with Janome for years. She designs fabric for Michael Miller. So I love using her fabric. And then I have used her, she had this alphabet panel with all the letters, so I thought that was perfect. And there's even this little bonus patch. I'm going to use that for my label. I think I'm going to color it in with some fabric markers, and I'm going to use that for my label. So how cute is that? Now, my big sample is not 100% done because I don't know if I'm going to embroider the A to Z with Janome, or I may use the fonts that's built into our Pro Stitcher Premium computer. I'm going to take this down to our Janome Sewing and Learning Center in Oakville in a couple of weeks when I go back to the office. And I'm actually going to quilt it on our Quiltmaker Pro 18. And again, maybe I'm going to use different fonts for it, so I'm not sure. So this sample isn't 100% done, but you can see the majority of it. So away we go. So A to Z with Janome. So of course, we started off with letter A, and that is for our Applique Foot. And that is a brilliant foot to use when you're doing applique. And again, this is another quilt I've been working on for actually a couple of years, using Tamara Kate's fabric as well. So all this applique, I can get in there, all these little tight spots. It's a cute little clear foot with a smaller profile. So it's really good to get in for your applique. So that's the AP Applique Foot. Now, it is an optional foot. A lot of the feet that I am going to talk about are optional feet, so you can check with your Janome dealer now. And then if your machine didn't come with the various feet too, that again, double check with your dealer to see about getting it. Most of these, in fact, all of them are available in separate blister packs, so you could get them if they're compatible with your machine. So B was for our buttonholes and buttons. And I have a sample here. And again, most of our machines will do buttonholes. And again, we've got a clear buttonhole foot is B. We've got an R, automatic buttonhole foot, R. And then we've got a T is the button sewing foot. So again, double check if they either came with your machine or you can get them from your Janome dealer. So that was B. And all of these drawings are adorable. Parts and Notions coordinator Tanya Danier did all of these drawings for Janome HQ. So a big shout out to Tanya. These are so adorable. C was for the, C is over here, was for the circular attachment. Oh, I hope we don't lose power. Our lights are flickering. So circular attachment, this beautiful dress that former Janome educator Linda Pedzmecki and current Janome dealer at the Sewing Cafe in Georgetown. Linda created this with the circular attachment. So how beautiful is that? And then we had, whoops, some of these are sticking together. So then we had D was our rolled hem foot. Now this is a foot that does come with a number of machines. So D, now we've got a couple of different kinds. The average one's about 3 millimeters, but then there's also, for some of the machines, a 4 millimeter, a D2 foot, and then D1 is 6 millimeters. So on this beautiful dress shirt, for example, a great time to use your rolled hem. Ooh, I should have brought my Barbie up here too, because I did a rolled hem with a big Barbie wrap too. So there's a lot of applications for that rolled hem foot. And what I hear from a number of people, and one of the things I like about Janome as well, regardless of your machine model, and if it's a 9 millimeter, 7 millimeter, 5 millimeter, the E foot, for example, the zipper foot, and even the foot may look a little different, but the E foot is a zipper foot for all the machines, regardless. So it's very easy to keep track of that. So E was for zipper foot, and that allows you to, again, put in zippers. This was our cute clematis wristlet from Blue Cala Patterns. It's a free pattern. Blue Cala is one of our artisans. Her name is Celine. She is one of our Janome Canada artisans. So you can check her website out, Blue Cala, as well. She's written a number of blogs for the Janome Life blog. So that is our E for our zipper foot. Now F was for the FB border guide foot, and that's rows and rows and rows of decorative stitching. Makes that really easy. And one of the samples I showed using it was this fabulous sewing machine cover from Sew for Home. That is sew, S-E-W, the number 4, home.com. And again, they have been our friends at Janome for years and years. They have used a lot of Janome products and machines. They've written many tutorials, so definitely check out Sew for Home. They have lots of free patterns, and including one of this gorgeous sewing machine cover. And I absolutely loved it. And Evelyn, I'm so glad you're watching, because yes, Evelyn, who has been a faithful viewer of Janome HQ, asked about that sewing machine cover and how she could get the pattern for it. So again, I said, go check out Sew for Home. And Evelyn sent me, perfect timing, Evelyn. Last night, she sent me this. Ooh, we did lose power. Evelyn sent me this beautiful sewing machine cover picture of what she did for her machines at home. So I thought, this is beautiful. Look at all those gorgeous decorative stitches, and especially if you use that border guide foot, again, rows and rows and rows, perfectly even and easily. So Evelyn, this is absolutely beautiful, and it's wonderful to see then the projects then you are creating with some of these various, feet and accessories. So we have a new hashtag. You can go to hashtag share the Janome love, and then we can see what projects that you are doing to creating with all of these, again, beautiful feet and attachments. So Evelyn, perhaps you'll be the first. If you go hashtag share the Janome love, and you could post this picture of your beautiful sewing machine cover on that would be wonderful. And then again, we can see all the samples you're doing. So that's great. So that's the FB foot, border guide foot. G is our blind hem foot. Now it's great to do a blind hem, but it's also, I love using it for edge stitching. So on my dress shirt, for example, I did edge stitching all around the arm's eye, and I do it all on the underarm seam, even the side seam. I edge stitch everything. So using the G, the blind hem foot, is multi-purpose. So that's very fun. H was our 3-way cording foot. It's so fun to use these feet to do a lot of, fun and fancy decorative elements. This is using some of the utility stitches or satin stitches, even the heirloom stitches that are built into your machine, but you're using them to like couch down or attach cording. So how beautiful that is. This is a pillow cover. So 3-way cording foot, again, really adds a lot to whatever project. I was our piping foot, to allow you to not only to make the piping to cover your various cords or even yarn you can use. And the piping foot has the 2 grooves, one to cover the piping, the other is to actually insert it into the project. So that is great too. So J was our Janome brand bobbins and needles. And I certainly recommend to use them, hopefully exclusively, but if not exclusively, that if you're using other sewing machine needles in your machine that are not Janome, at least make sure that they are good quality needles from a reputable brand. There are many that are out there that are perfectly good to use as well. But I will attach our Janome bobbins and our Janome needles after I've quilted my sample. But yes, and in fact, Janome has our own brand of like polyester embroidery thread as well, that all of your embroidery machines, that's the default thread in. So Janome has a lot of great products of their own. K was for sergers. Now that is, if you go to the Janome Canada website and click the Accessories tab, then you will go find the Accessories guide. And K is the category of machines. We have, again, A through, I think it's I, of all the various types of machines, and K was sergers. So sergers are great to use for so quick and easy garment construction. I made this hoodie with the serger. It was a Jolie pattern. That Jolie is one of our now Janome Canada artisans. It's J-A-L-I-E, and they're from Montreal, so proudly Canadian, and they do a lot of fabulous patterns, and they're not necessarily serger patterns, but you can adapt a lot of regular patterns to use on the serger. So very quick and easy to use your serger, and Janome's got a number of sergers in the line as well, and of course our fabulous air thread, AT2000D. L was our beading foot. We've got a L1 narrow groove and L2 wide groove, so they allow you, again, to couch or to zigzag on a variety of beads and yarns, a string of pearls, so that's very fun to do. M was our overcast foot. Again, this is another foot that comes with a variety of our machines, and it allows you to finish the edge of your fabric very much like the results you get on your serger. It just doesn't trim that raw edge of the fabric, but you can pretty much do that same professional finish of the raw edge of your fabric using the M foot. And then we have the N foot is our narrow pin tuck foot, the N2, and the N1 is the wide pin tuck foot. Again, these are optional feet available for a number of the machines. I believe all 9, 7, and 5 millimeters have pin tuck foot. And they allow you rows and rows and rows of narrow little pin tucks. Great if you want to take in some fabric, but you don't want to add like a dart. If you were doing a blouse, for example, and you don't want to add in a dart, you could do some pin tucks, and that'll help draw up the fabric. And then you can use the pin tuck guides that I showed in that video to make corded pin tucks using a variety of cords or yarn to add some dimension. So all of these former Janome HQ Instagram lives are on the IGTV icon that's on the main Janome HQ Instagram page, or at least most of them are. For some reason, Z, for example, did not save to the IGTV icon, but you can go to the Janome HQ YouTube channel and you can see all the whole series. I've created a playlist called A to Z with Janome. So in one succession, just start with A and then it'll instantly play through the whole series. And I loaded Z up yesterday. So you can see all of these in review. So O, for example, was the OM is a clear view 1/4 inch foot. So if you want to help with your 1/4 inch piecing, that's a great foot. And then the OV is the clear view foot and guide set. So it allows you to use that foot 3 different ways for 1/4 inch piecing, or even edge stitching, or like a stitch in the ditch foot. Or then you can use the foot without a guide as well. And sometimes people don't like having those guides on the side of the feet. So then you can unscrew that guide on the OV foot. So you can go back to Janome HQ to review that. P was for our PDH foot, or the darning foot, is again a foot that has been around forever and comes included in a lot of our Janome machines. It is great for, it's one of my favorite, for free motion quilting. What have I done with that little sample? There it is. So it's great for free motion quilting. And this I was inspired by our other Janome Canada artisan, Kim Jameson Hurst, did a cute little article about, again, free motion quilting. And this is like her little sample of these free motion flowers. I even added clouds and grass to mine because, again, I was very inspired by her. But yes, that is on the Janome Life blog that Kim did fairly recently, maybe a couple of weeks ago. So you can always go to Janome Life blog and use the search box and then type in whatever subject you're interested in as well to find more information. So that was our PDH foot that I love using for free motion quilting. So that is great. And there is a closed toe version, which again comes with a number of machines, and there's an open toe version as well that also comes with some of the machines and is available in a separate blister pack. So if your machine came with the closed toe version, but you'd like an open toe, again, contact your Janome dealer to get an open toe PDH foot or darning foot for your machine. Q was for our ruler foot, our QR ruler foot, but there are a number of ruler feet for the various Janome machines. And this was a two-parter episode, which I've split into two videos because it was a very long Instagram live. But Q was also for our QZ variable zigzag foot. So, oops, that was very fun. So here is my sample for the ruler. We used our Janome ruler work kit in order to make this cute little bag, and it holds all the rulers and everything. We've got now a variety of acrylic rulers that you can use for your sewing machine, and we also have some long arm rulers to use on the Quiltmaker Pro and Quiltmaker Pro 16. So that is great for long arm or for ruler quilting. And then the variable zigzag allows us to use the knee lifter in the machines and a cute little clear variable zigzag foot to vary the width of the zigzag. It's a really fun function. Again, it's not available in all machines, but in certain machines they have this capability. So it's very fun to use. Again, some decorative elements. So we have, ooh, was that lightning? We have our ribbons and sequins foot. And this is a very fun foot. You can use, there's 4 different guides on the foot, so you can put a lot of fun decorative elements, stitch down a bunch of ribbons and sequins very easily. So that's good. S was SE, our edge guide foot. Now, of course, I love all Janome feet, but the edge guide foot really is one of my favorites because it is so versatile. And you can even tell on Tanya's drawing here, it's this little guide that has there's a little screw on the side, and it allows you to move that guide closer to your needle or away from your needle. So that's why I really love the edge guide foot. So if your sewing machine does not have the ability to move your needle to a variety of positions, or you don't have a lot of stitches to move your needle, then you leave your needle in center needle position and you move the guide closer to your needle instead of moving your needle closer to the guide. So its versatility is one reason why it's one of my favorite feet. So that's the SE edge guide foot. T was the TG, and where are we down? TG, tape guide foot, allows you to finish off the raw edge of like a single piece of fabric, very decoratively, create binding. Now, I wouldn't want to bind a quilt with the tape guide foot, but again, to bind a single piece of fabric, I demoed the foot, going around a curve if you were going to do like a little apron, for example, or and Margaret, I think, is the one who said, oh, that would be great to use for ties as well. So you could finish the ties for your mask using the tape guide foot. U, Ultra Glide foot. Again, one of my favorite. Again, I've got so many of them. Ultra Glide foot allows us to stitch down a lot of these stickier fabrics, heavier fabrics, more dense fabrics like the vinyl or cork or this metallic vinyl, any of the rain slicker fabric. We could certainly use it today with the downpour we're getting. Yes, that fabric, again, it wants to stick under a metal presser foot. So by having the Ultra Glide foot, it will help feed that through very easily. So that's wonderful. So that's U. V was the gathering foot, another of my all-time favorite. How easy that is to gather. I had shown this sample here. Ooh, how dramatic that looks. And remember the days of pulling the two long basting threads, and you'd hope that those threads would not break. Oh, forget those, or zigzagging over some cord. Oh, forget that. You just use the gathering foot and it gets you all these beautiful even gathers, however much you need. You just make some adjustments in your machine and you can do tons of gathers very beautifully. So that was great. And then next is W for our binding foot. Ooh, that's way down here. Hopefully that's not too dark. But the binding foot, I will bring this sample back up here because it allowed me to stitch on this blue band, contrasting blue band of fabric. Again, how beautiful is that? A great designer detail, and finished all very beautifully on the inside as well. So that's the binding foot. Again, another great thing. You could sew your masks and then bind them with the binding foot. Oh, X. My cloth setter is back at the office, but X was for our cloth setter, and X marks the spot for every Janome embroidery machine. I believe there is a cloth setter, and that's something Janome developed again years ago for perfect placement of your embroidery. And I love it as well. Clamping in my embroidery hoop acts as my third hand, so I find it easier to hoop my fabric and my stabilizer, and again position my fabric exactly where I want it using the cloth setter. So excellent placement there. Y was for our yellow dot bobbin holder. I thought, how perfect is that? And that, let me move that out of the way. Yellow dot bobbin holder down here. Now again, the cloth setter helped me get that little yellow flower exactly in the middle of this beautiful fabric. But the yellow dot bobbin holder is our embroidery bobbin holder. It has a higher tension, so it pulls your needle threads to the back underside, so that way none of your bobbin thread is going to poke up to the good side of your embroidery. So that's where we use our yellow dot bobbin holder, and it comes included in all of the Janome embroidery machines. But again, if you'd like a spare, you can get it for in a separate package as well. And Z, or Z, last but not least, and I love Tanya's drawing with the little zipper tape, was our concealed zipper foot. It's Z or Z, depending on how you pronounce it, is our concealed zipper foot. And it allows us to, let me put that away. This is a beautiful invisible zipper down the side seam, for example. This could be at the center back as well, but you really wouldn't know there is a zipper here, but it allows you to put in, using the Z or Z zipper foot, allows you to insert an zipper in invisibly. So very beautiful. And in fact, I have to even peel back the coil in order to see the stitching, like it's done so beautifully. So that's a great foot to use. Again, more of a designer detail with the invisible zipper. So that very quickly was our A to Z with Janome recap. And again, you can go back to the IGTV icon on the Janome HQ Instagram page for most of these episodes. Again, for some reason, Z did not load the other day, but you can go to the Janome HQ YouTube channel and you can see this whole series I've loaded as videos, again with a separate playlist. So just click on that and then you'll see them all. So make sure you check out with your Janome dealer to get the correct foot for your machine. If you want to scan down here, a couple of things I had mentioned a number of times actually during the Janome HQ as well. Very useful. your presser foot workbook. Again, has details for a lot of the feet that already come with our machine, like the overcast foot and like the buttonhole foot, but they also have various addendums that you can purchase, like the specialty presser foot addendum that goes through a lot of the feet that I've talked about in Janome HQ. So you can find more information on a lot of those presser feet. I've also talked many times about the Madeira stabilizer packs. Specifically, this starter pack has got 12 different stabilizers with a book that teaches you how to use all the stabilizers. So definitely check your Janome dealer about getting that stabilizer pack. The Janome bulletins. In fact, these bulletins, I print them out and I keep them in a red binder, of course, for Janome. But these bulletins are on the Janome Global site. So if you type in your browser Janome Global site, then you're able to print off these bulletins. And again, there's more information of a lot of the feet and accessories. There's machine updates, information there. This is one on the Ultra Glide foot. So again, very useful. And I also talked about this fabulous accessory case, 9mm accessory case. Now it already comes with the Memory Craft 15,000 quilt maker, but you can get like a Robin's Egg Blue one that matches the Skyline series of machines. These are for 9mm machines. So if you have a 9mm machine like 6700, 8200, 8900, for example, you could purchase the case, and it comes, this is one of the accessory trays. There are 3 included, and there's a slot for a lot of the presser feet. Now our Memory Craft 15,000 quilt maker comes with all these feet over here, but this whole slot was empty. But with my optional presser feet now, with my AP foot, for example, the Applique Foot, the H 3-way cording foot, U Ultra Glide foot, FB border guide foot, there's room for a lot of the additional presser feet that I talked about here for Janome HQ A to Z. So then you can fill up those slots there. So it's a really good way to organize all your presser feet. Now you'll see there's a couple of empty slots here, so sneak peek of what we're doing next. So yes, that's the conclusion of our A to Z with Janome series. So as a heads up, starting Monday, July 13th, we have a new series, and it is called Janome's Awesome Accessory Countdown. So I will be doing 12. There's, starting with 1, and we'll be counting all the way around to 12. 12 Janome Awesome Accessories. We were inspired by Sesame Street. Do you remember all when they did the pinball countdown, counting down to 12? So yes, this is Tanya's cute drawing. I absolutely love it. So next week, starting July 13th, for Janome's Awesome Accessory Countdown, for things that I couldn't really cover in A to Z. For example, like, what in the world is that? Even I asked myself that a few years ago. What in the world is that? That doesn't look like a normal presser foot, does it? But it does some amazing things. So I will show you. And then, something like this. This may be somewhat familiar to some of you. It's actually a very old foot. It's called a ruffler. This inspires fear into some people, going, how in the world would I use that? And again, the ruffler has been around for years and years and years. So again, I will show you how to use all of that. And then, again, we've got 12 in total, but then again, you look at this big piece of metal and go, what in the world is this thing? How am I going to use this? Again, I'll show you. So yes, 12 awesome accessories. So the next series, starting again July 13th, is Janome's Awesome Accessory Countdown. So I hope you will join me then, same time at 1 p.m. Eastern here at Janome HQ. So any questions, any concerns? Everything is good. We hope we get power on. Hopefully everyone is safe and wonderful. And in the meanwhile, you can write me as well. classes@janome-canada.com. Our Janome Sewing and Learning Center is still not open to the public, but I can put you on the email list, classes@janome-canada.com. And then as soon as we get information about classes there, as well, I'm developing some online classes, then I can put you on that mailing list, so you'll be in the know. So thank you very much for joining me today. It's been wonderful. Thank you so much for your support as we have done this A to Z with Janome series. And I will be seeing you all on Monday. Have a very fabulous weekend. Thank you so much. Joe, do you want to spin the camera and say bye? Since he's been a tower of support for me, I certainly couldn't have done it without him. And again, Tanya doing all the fabulous drawings and filming me when I was at the office. So thank you everyone for your support, and I will be seeing you on Monday. Bye.